It's been a while since I've done one of those stuffed chicken breast dishes that I like to do, and every time I do, when I say that you can pick anything and stuff it with anything and kind of change the flavor that way, and I'm just going to kind of do that today, just make up something new, and this is going to be kind of an empty the fridge dish because I'm not working with leftovers, but it's some things that I've had in the refrigerator that I want to get going. I've got some Italian sausage that I want to cook off, some mozzarella cheese, some spinach. I'm going to use all that kind of for the stuffing. Got a pot of sauce going that I made this morning, so even though that's not leftovers, I'm going to use that more as an ingredient than kind of a center part of the dish. And of course, it all centers around the chicken breast. And the first thing I want to do is start cooking off this sausage. So this is just basic packaged Italian sausage. It's actually mild sausage that I had in the refrigerator that I wanted to use. So I've got this pan, got a little heat on it. It's not too hot, but I'm going to put a little olive oil down and then just put this sausage in and break it up. And this is probably going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to cook through. And I don't necessarily have to cook this all the way through because it's going to go on once it goes inside the chicken, it's going to go in the grill and it will continue to cook in there. And it could actually dry out a little bit if I cook it too much on the stovetop. But while this is cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my chicken. So I've got 2 nice chicken breasts, good size, that I've actually cleaned up, cut all the fat and all the other stuff off of it. And now I'm going to go ahead and butterfly these because I want a large surface to be able to work with here. So I'm basically going to cut halfway through the chicken, but leave it attached. Cut it kind of horizontally this way, and really what I'm creating is almost an envelope here. So you leave this hinge on it there, and then it kind of opens up wide like that. And that gives you maximum surface to work with. So, got some plastic wrap down. I'm going to go ahead and put this right there. And then I've got to put plastic wrap over it to pound it. So I've laid this flat. I want to go ahead and pound it out gently. I don't want to hit this too hard, but I do want to get it nice and thin because I'm going to grill this and I don't want it to spend too much time on the grill, so the thinner it is, the quicker it'll cook. But I also don't want to pound it too thin because then it tears and ingredients kind of come out of it while it's cooking that way too. So that's probably a nice 1/8 of an inch or so, and that's going to be fine to go ahead and crack. And I'll go ahead and pound this other one out too. So I like to break sausage down with this potato masher. It really kind of crumbles it nicely, and this way you don't have large pieces in there. And then what I want to do is, I don't want this to be a very saucy stuffing, but I do want to flavor this sausage with a little bit of that marinara that I made. So maybe just a couple of spoonfuls in there. I'm going to mix it together, and this is almost going to be, it's going to be more of a gravy consistency than sauce. I can probably put a little bit more in there. But again, I'm just doing it, I'm not doing it for the consistency, I'm doing it for the flavor of the tomato in there. This is almost like a sausage chili consistency in there. And I'm just going to take a spoonful of that and kind of put it right through the middle of the chicken. Don't want to put too much in there because then otherwise it'll be hard to wrap this. So then I'm going to add a little bit of freshly grated Parmesan cheese right over that. And I've got some cubed mozzarella cheese. I didn't want to put shredded in there because I thought it would melt down too much. So cubed will kind of stand up to the heat a little bit better, and then you'll have a nice bite of the mozzarella in there. So I want to put a decent amount of that in there. I want it to be nice and cheesy as well. All right. And I'm going to add some baby spinach leaves just for contrast. I guess you have to have a little vegetable in there too, right? So, all right, now I'm just going to roll this up. Basically, try to close the ends in and wrap it over there. And got a little bit of a whole section here that's popping out, but that's okay. And then I'm going to secure it with these long toothpicks. Like to thread it out so it kind of holds it together. I'll use at least 2 of those. And that's one way that I can close the end too. All right. Close that end up a little bit too. So, and as much flavor is in there with the sausage and everything, you still have to season the outside of the chicken. So, season it the way that I season everything: salt, fresh ground pepper, gonna get both sides of this, and then I'm gonna finish it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil so it doesn't stick on that hot grill. So that was about 8 minutes at a pretty high heat on the grill, and I let it go about 70% on one side before I flipped it, so I got some nice grill marks on there, got some nice color on this side. The other side is not as colorful, but you only look at one side, right? So this has been sitting for probably 5 minutes because I want all the filling to kind of calm down a little bit, and I don't want it to spill out when I cut it. And one thing that you do is you do have to take the toothpicks out when the chicken is hot. It's a lot easier to do it that way. I found one of them. I'm going to find the other one when I cut it open, but I will take it out before I serve this, obviously. So, but now, and there's the other one. I'm just going to cut through that toothpick. You can see the filling, kind of the cheese melted down in there, and it's got a really cool color, and the spinach wilted a little bit as well. So that's going to be a real flavorful dish. And I would probably serve this, you know, I had that sauce, so I'd probably serve this maybe with a little pasta. I kind of have the pasta as a side dish. Actually, I'm just going to take this out of here. So really, no end to what you can do with these stuffed chicken dishes. I've done them a lot of different ways. This way is kind of a tomato sausage combination. It's really got a sweetness to it as well, even it's the mild sausage. So with that tomato, the sweet tomato sauce, it's really going to be a kind of a nice combination. I eat a lot of chicken breast. Sometimes you got to mix it up. You know, it's one thing to have it just plain chicken breast, which I have for lunch probably 3 days a week. But every once in a while, you want to do something a little different with it, and stuffing it is always a good way to go.